everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the third video of this little Freshers Fortnight series. Today we're going to be talking all about flats, flatmates, living in student accommodation and kind of what to expect. So I asked for some questions over on my Instagram and I'm going to kind of base this video off of the more commonly asked questions, anything like subjects that you wanted me to touch on. Before we get into it, however, I do just want to quickly say if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe because this is video number 3 of 10 that is coming over the next 2 weeks. So if you are here looking for tips and tricks for Freshers Week, what to expect, definitely hit the subscribe button because I've got loads of videos where this one came from, so gotta keep yourself in the loop. Okay, so firstly I just wanted to touch on breaking the ice when you're moving into your student accommodation. Obviously there are no two ways about it, moving into a flat with complete strangers is going to be daunting. It is very rare that you're going to know even one of the people that you're living with when you move into student accommodation, but that is part of the fun of it. And initially, before you even get to your student accommodation, there are things that you can do to make that process a little less daunting. The first of which is try and find the people that you're going to be living with. I know that Unite students on their app, they have a group chat function that allows you to kind of chat to and get to know your flatmates before you move in, and that is great. It really takes the pressure off that first initial meeting because you'll have already had something to kind of talk about. However, if you're not going to be staying in one of the Unite properties, Facebook is a great place to look. I know when I moved to Unite there was a Facebook group that was set up and basically it was just there to allow you to find different flatmates, see who you were going to be living with, find people on your course before you even got to the city. And through one of those pages I actually found 3 of my flatmates before I even moved in, and we were able to set up a little group chat of our own. We had those kind of initial discussions, found out who we were, where we were from, what we were going to be doing, and that made moving day a lot less stressful. Things that you can do to break the ice and get to know your flatmates more when you do move into your flat is number 1, bring a doorstop. Bring 2 doorstops, bring a pack of doorstops. As soon as you get into your flat and into your room, if you feel comfortable, pop a doorstop in your door, and that way when people are walking past they're going to know that they can come in and say hi and get to know you a little bit better. There's nothing worse than walking into a corridor and all of those doors are shut. You feel kind of alone and insecure and you feel tiny in such a big unfamiliar place. So if you're able to go in and pop a doorstop in your door, pop one in the kitchen door, it makes the space feel a lot more welcoming and you can make others feel more at ease. And I have to say the best way to get to know your flatmates is to say yes to things. In those first few days you need to do as much as you can to get to feel comfortable in your space, to get to know people, and that's not going to happen if you lock yourself away in your room. University is a chance to put yourself out there. Chances are you'll know no one that you're living with, and that is quite a liberating feeling actually. Being able to put out an image of yourself to complete strangers is quite exciting, and especially if you've just come from school, you might have been around the same group of people for say 6 years and they know you as the girl that did this in 2nd year, the girl that fell down the stairs, the girl that used to have a mad crush on this guy, but no one knows any of that when you go to university. So in the least sociopathic way possible, you're able to control the way that you're perceived by other people. So make the most of that, say yes to things, try new things because you're not constrained by the little stereotypes and social groupings that you were used to at school. You might say yes to something that you'd never thought about before and find out that you actually really enjoy it. Moving to university gives you a lot more freedom to experiment and to find yourself, as cheesy as it sounds. So if you can and if you want to, say yes. Practically, great ways to break the ice with your flatmates is basically to get out there and do things. Go to the cinema, go shopping, go bowling, go on nights out, and even something as simple as going to the supermarket. If you can go together, that kind of gives you something to talk about. You can talk about what food you're going to be making, and also having something bigger to focus on means that there's not as much strain on the conversation. So just do everything that you can with people, get to know them, and I guarantee within a week's time you will feel so much better. It is honestly mind-blowing how fast friendships form at university. Like in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, you're literally going to be mind blown that you didn't know each other a month before. Now, the second topic that I got quite a lot of questions and queries on is clubbing, nights out, especially if you have different attitudes to nights out as your flatmates. And I feel like the kind of obvious thing to say here, as blunt as it might sound, is If your flatmates like clubbing and you don't need to go with them. No one is making you go with them. And I know it might be a little bit of a stress point because in your head, if you're not going out with them, you're missing out on a lot. But that is not the case. If you don't enjoy clubbing, you going out is not going to bring anything else to that friendship. If anything, it's going to make you feel really uncomfortable and out of place, and that's not putting the best version of you forward. If you don't like clubbing, you don't need to go. And if you are worried about missing out on something, I feel like the best reminder is that clubbing and going on a night out is only 4 to 6 hours of a day. You have so many more hours that you can get to know this person, you can do different things, you can do things that you enjoy, and you can get to know them in a different way. It is not as if people that like going out and like drinking and like clubbing, it's not as if that's their only hobby. Like, they are normal people too, they like to do normal things. I'll put my hands up right now and say I love a night out. I love to get a little bit tipsy, maybe a little bit too tipsy, maybe a little bit past the point of tipsy, and just have a laugh with my friends. But that is not all I do by any means. I love sitting in and watching TV. I love ordering a Domino's and watching a movie. I love going for walks out in the Aberdeenshire countryside if I get the chance to. I love going shopping. I love going to the cinema. And that's something that I would happily do with someone that doesn't like going clubbing. I feel like it's so important to remember that people aren't just one sort of stereotype, and you're a person, they're a person. If they like clubbing and you don't like clubbing, or vice versa, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have anything in common. There are so many more ways that you can get to know people, but in saying that, I would urge you that at least once, try and put yourself in that social situation. You might not enjoy clubbing or going out or drinking right now, but that could be entirely due to the people that you go with. Go to a prees with your flatmates, and if they all want to go out afterwards and you don't want to go into a club, come home. If you do that, then at least you've made the effort. You've gone to prees with them, you've had a good time, you'll have met new people, and then you can take yourself away from that situation and go and watch a movie after. And the next topic on our list is the shared bathroom. Now, this is a big part of many people's university experience, especially in first year. And I can put my hands up right now and say that I don't have much experience of a shared bathroom in a hall situation. When I was in student accommodation, I stayed in an ensuite bedroom, so I've never shared a bathroom in halls. But obviously in the last 2 years I have stayed in just regular rented student flats, and they are all shared bathrooms. So I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of general tips and tricks and things that you can do to make sharing a bathroom in halls a little bit easier. Firstly, a little practical tip is I'd say keep a little shower caddy, a little basket, a little wash bag of stuff that you're going to take with you to and from the bathroom. That way it's all in the one place and it's a lot easier when you do decide that you need to go for a shower. But not only that, it does help keep the bathroom tidier. If everyone's just leaving shampoos, conditioners, razors all over the place, it's going to get very messy very quick. And that can make the full experience a lot more stressful. So if you're able to keep your stuff to yourself, it's going to make the bathroom environment a lot less busy, a lot less messy, and it's going to make it a lot less stressful. Or alternatively, sit down with your flatmates and talk about maybe just getting like one of those massive shampoo bottles, a massive conditioner, a massive body wash that you all just share, and that way you're going to stop having like 5 different shampoos, 6 different conditioners lying on the floor. Another thing that I think is a huge must is run your shared bathroom like how you run your shared kitchen. Now, I know that for a lot of people in a lot of different flats, this can be done in different ways. Some people like to have a rota so that it's set out in a proper way, you know who's doing what when, and it keeps it simple. Some people much prefer the attitude of you clear up after yourself, I'll clear up after myself. And if that works for you, that is great, but bear in mind that some people might not pull their weight so much, and that's just one of those cross that bridge when you come to it type situations. The majority of people will be used to just having their own bathroom at home that they can just leave all their stuff in, and it's okay because their mum will come and tidy up after them. Just kind of let the first few days and weeks play out, see what works for your flat, and if you do need to have a conversation, have it as soon as possible because it'll stop a whole lot of grief. And speaking of grief, the last thing that I want to talk about today is conflict resolution. If you're not getting on too well with your flatmates, what needs to happen? And the first logical thing to say here is you're not going to get on with everyone. At the end of the day, no matter how great you think you are, if you call yourself a people pleaser, you're bound to encounter someone that just does not float your boat, and that is okay. Nobody expects you to move into a flat of 4, 5, 8 strangers and get on with every single one of them. That is not realistic. That is never going to happen. And you're going to get on with some people way more than you're going to get on with others. And that's just something that you need to come to terms with. Another thing that I feel is really important to keep in mind is that even though you are living with these people in your student halls, it is not the same as living with the people that you would be living with at home. It's not the same as living in your little house with your mom and your dad and your big sister and your little brother. That is not the dynamic that you're going to be moving into. You're not going to be waking up every morning and having breakfast with them around the kitchen table. You're not going to be sitting in the living room and watching X Factor with them in the evenings. You're not going to be having dinner. You're not going to be making lunch together. It is just different, and you need to kind of get used to that in your own way. But because of that, and because of the way that social living is set up, it means that you're not going to see everyone every single moment of every single day. And that can be a big help if you find someone that you kind of niggle with a bit. In student halls, you pretty much do your own thing. You might have a flat dinner every now and then, you might make some waffles with your friend on a Sunday morning, but no one's expecting everyone to be in the kitchen at the one time, and because of that, it makes it easy for you to pick and choose who you want to spend time with. So if you move into halls and you realise that there's someone that you don't quite get along with, you can just choose not to be in the kitchen at the same time as they're in the kitchen. If they're out at a lecture, you have free reign over the flat, but if you don't want to see them when they come back from a night out, you go to your bedroom, and that's okay. Just because you're living with these people doesn't mean that you need to be best friends with them. Nobody expects that of you. Some people move into halls and they get on so well with their flatmates, and it's as if the stars have aligned and the universe is all correct. But in some cases, those people are just not your people, and that is okay. And you are more than entitled to become best friends with people on your course, on a society, or in a sports club, people upstairs, people next door. That is okay. You can choose how you want to spend your time, and if you would rather spend your time with a flat upstairs than your own flat, that is fine. And I feel like because that option is there and there's a lot less expectation set on kind of flatmate scenarios, it stops things totally combusting. It's not like a disagreement in a friendship group at school where if one thing goes wrong, that's it. In a flatmate scenario, if something's bothering you, you can take yourself out of that situation and it just kind of fizzles out itself, which is actually really nice. But it would be naive to think that sometimes these massive arguments don't happen, and when they do, the best thing that you can do is talk about it. Come together with the full flat, come together with the single person that you're having the issue with, and talk. You are an adult now. When you move to university, you need to be an adult. If you have a problem, you need to address it, and the sooner you address it, the better. So take yourself back from the situation, think about what's happened and what you want to happen moving forward, and take it from there. And with that being said, I'm going to stop this video here. I hope that this video gave you some little tips and tricks, maybe settled a few nerves. I feel like ending on that note might have made you a little bit more nervous, for which I apologise, but there's not much I can do about that. You asked the questions. If you guys did enjoy this video, do give it a thumbs up, and as always, if you have any other questions or anything that I've not really tackled in this video, leave them down below in the comments and I will get back to you on that. And as always, do subscribe if you're not already. There are loads more videos coming your way. One coming tomorrow, one coming the next day. They're flying out left, right and centre. I am going to head away now. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow with a new video. Bye!